Hi everyone, I'm Grattles and welcome back to the Best Start 2 series. This is episode 21 and we are going to make radio controls, supercomputers, and set up for a turbo motor factory. So we can only set the turbo motor factory up because we have 3 out of the 4 parts, and the next episode we'll be doing cooling systems, heat sinks, and fused modular frames. So once we get those cooling systems, we'll be able to put that into the turbo motor factory, and that will be making the turbo motors. So everything is set up and ready to go, but we need those cooling systems hooked up. But anyway, let's go ahead, jump in. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I had to do, and we'll get started. So I need to bring you back to the beginning. So I wanted to build rocket fuel, but I didn't have a lot of things unlocked in tier 8. We had completed 7. So let me go back over to the hub and show you. So over in here, I completed all of 8. So we had the casings and we had the sheets, we had the motors. I made some radio controls, either on the fly or from some crash sites, or I might have bought them with some tickets. I did buy some stuff with tickets. I bought, I think, supercomputers, radio controls, and I bought the fused modular frames, and the cooling systems. So the reason why I was able to buy them in the store here, and that's something you can do by looking up parts, is you search the part once it's unlocked, either by the hub or by the MAM. But I have a lot of tickets. I have more tickets. I'm sinking a lot of our plastic and our rubber and our casings, and so I am kind of consuming a lot of tickets at the moment. So I was able to buy all those parts I needed to complete the tier 8. So now we just gotta start building all this stuff. So today we're gonna be doing the radio controls and the supercomputers. After that, I think we're going to be doing probably heat sinks and so all this stuff. We're gonna be doing all this stuff. I don't know. We're gonna open all this stuff up. So yeah. But today, radio controls and supercomputers. Alright, so I have to run all those things and split them up. I had to also add some computers to our row, as well as something else. I forget. Circuit boards? I think circuit boards. All of these guys are going to be taking computers. These are going to take 2 each. I underclocked them, so I'm going to be making 2, 4, 8, because I have 2 more radio controls here. And then on the supercomputers, they're going to need 8 computers each. So 16 plus 8 is 24, and that's all the computers I'm making. I'm hoping to stockpile a lot of this so the computers can build back up. So this way we do have a supply of computers if needed. But right now we're making enough to at least get by. So computers, I'm going to have to split this 6 ways. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to run this. Probably down this way and split them off into 6 even spaces. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that just yet. So I'm going to take a look at what I want to do, and then I'll be back. Alright, so my thought process for the computers is to come in here, get split to this and this, then drop down, get split over to here, and then again with our third one, get split into here and here. So that's kind of the plan. So I'm going to need lifts on these, and I'm not sure how high they're going to have to go. Probably, let's see, that's 3. Let's try that. That's just normal height. And let's see how low that brings that. I'm going to press R straight. Whoops. And that works perfectly. Let's go up. And then we'll do that. And then up again. And do the last two. Alright, so that's going to be for computers. So let's just see where our computers are coming in. They are second in our line. Let's see. That's going to reach... not really well. I needed to come in here. So I needed to lift probably before that. So if I run... let's do this guy first. Just gonna bring him right about there so I know exactly where I'm gonna have to come to. Let's grab this. If we come right about there and do something like that. Doesn't like that. Curve? No. Default. Yeah, we could do that. So I think that'll be alright. So the computers can come in. Alright, so they're going to start running into all our machines and right down the line, making sure everything's going in properly. And it is. Alright, so let's see what our supercomputers are. AI limiters, high-speed connectors, and plastic. So those three items have to run down all the way to there. I gotta figure out how I want to bring them in and then split them. So let's just see what we got back here. We can come back here and we could bring them right down this way. That would work just fine. So let's put this back. Let's come up. And here we are. So we need these three items to the back here. They also could come down this way, go across the top of this one, right in here. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. And then they kind of got to get split. So I'm not sure if we should go on that side or this side. Either way, they have to come in. I'm thinking we'll go this side. Why not? So I'm going to get logistics, a floor hole. Put one there, and one there. And then we're going to have to do the same thing above it. Alright, let's put some lifts in. I'm going to turn this the other way, so they all match, which that one did not. Stay the way it was supposed to. Let's go ahead and fix that. Alright. Not too bad. Okay. Let's go ahead and put on lifts on the top here. And there. Alright, so we'll bring the one on the inside to the furthest one. So we're going to come straight. Come with this one. And then the plastic. Perfect. It's pretty neat. Let's come all the way down. And now we're going to have to bring them across. I'm going to close this off. And then we're going to split them. Now, we could have actually brought that right to there. I want to put a logistics hole there. And put in a logistics floor. But sometimes I like to leave them open. And have it on the floor like this. It just kind of looks better, I think, sometimes. But anyway, this sits a little lower, right? That sits fine there. Over here, this sits a little bit lower. So we're going to want to bring our lifts down a little bit. And they got to be split. So we got to figure out where we want to split them. So let's see what we would do here. Let's see. It's going to come in. Say there. And there. And then let's just take this one. Drop it down one. and then put a splitter on here. I think we could do that. I'm gonna take this, go to that side. I'm gonna actually take this one. I don't want to cut those off. I should probably bring this one down to this side. And then run this that way. That seems the most, I don't know. It seems okay. Because actually we're going to have other things going on that we're going to have to almost crisscross them. And I don't want to do that. We might do it on this side. So let's see. We're going to need another lift for the next one. Drop it down by 1. And maybe, let's see. Can we drop this? No. We'd probably need to bring it down another level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to go with probably a 2. Let's go with a 2. Right in front of here. That's going to drop that enough to bring that across. We will come here. It's going to run this way. And then I would need a splitter here somewhere. Or come there. I could put a splitter on here. Like that. Let's grab a lift. Let's come this way. This is going to be in the way. But this won't. So let's see if I can bring it to there. And bring this one to there. That'll work. And there's no clipping, which is good. So now I can remove this. And now we're going to have to do something similar with coming down a little bit lower. So let's grab, we'll go 2, 4. Come to there. Come to there. We'll bring this guy. Not like that. So I don't like the way that is, or that one. What we're gonna do is, let's take this. This is gonna be a 2. And what I'll do is, I'm gonna bring that to there. And that's gonna give me a better idea where to bring this guy down to. And that should help bring that in straighter. That does. I'm gonna bring that 4 out to here. I'm gonna do the same thing. Bring that in and down to there. I'm gonna do the next splitter here. Alright, I think that'll be fine. Because I think I could bring this one to there and in. That works. And then let's come over to this side. I don't have any of these 4 meters. So we're definitely going to need the 4 meter. Coming this way. Going that way. We'll grab this. And as long as that lines up with that guy, that works. Alright, so everybody's in. Alright, so yeah, nothing is clipping, believe it or not, even with it all looking crazy like this, which I kind of like. Honestly, it's a factory. I like these things going all over the place. These guys don't make sense. They're not attached to anything. We can take them off if you see them anywhere. That was really... Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, I think that works. Alright, so yeah, we'll be able to put some lights on up in here, but for now, and we need to run electric, honestly, and this pole is the perfect place. So I have electric right under here. And I think what we could do is, let's just come right there. And to the other side of this one. Somewhere over there. So let's just grab a 2. Go right through here. And then we should be able to hook these up. Alright, so these guys are all hooked up. Where is the plastic? A plastic coming in here, but no plastic coming in here. That is because this guy got misconnected. Alright, we'll grab that. There we go. And there we go. So now we're starting to make supercomputers. Perfect. So we're going to need storage somewhere along the line, but now we have to do our radio controls. We got our computers, and we're going to have to drop down our casings and crystal oscillators. So let's go ahead and grab those. Now these are going to be a lot different because we need to not only split them in 2, split them in 4. So both of them need to be split in 4s. Do I want to make a logistics floor here, which might be a great idea. I think what I'll do is I'll make a logistics floor. Let's see. Height is pretty good here. And we'll do a logistics floor here. Alright, so I'm going to run this floor out and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got a logistics floor done in between these 2 floors, which I think will work out nicely because we'll be able to split things up a lot easier in the logistics floor. So let's go ahead and pop in some holes to bring those downstairs. So let's go into Q and logistics and this floor hole here. We could do one there and one here. So let's go ahead and bring these that are going to line up with this one. We're going to need this. So you should go up, I think, by 4. I think is the, like, magic number. I want this to line up with this guy. Except that is an out instead of an in. Not quite. I'll make sure it lines up with that guy. There we go. Do the same thing here. There. Alright, now connect your lines. Alright, so instead of having them come in and drop down to the logistics floor, I'm thinking it might be better to put a splitter on here. Maybe like that. So that's going to that. That will be going. And that will be going. Now the problem is, this is in the way, so we'd probably have to do something like that. Something like that. We have to figure out height. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna bring this across. That across. That there a second. It's a little bit lower than that. But it gives me a good measure of what I'll need. Maybe I'll turn that one that way. Let's grab a thing here. Something like that. And that. Now, let's come on to this side. I'm gonna need a lift. It's gonna drop down into here. Probably leave it right there. And another one that's gonna drop down into here, which we could probably put on the floor. All right. Next, we'll need to take one of these and bring it up to the ceiling, and one that's gonna stay on the floor. We got one here we need to put to the ceiling. There. So now we need splitters. Now, that's gonna go there. That's gonna go there. This one will go into there. And go into there. This one will go to there. And go to... I want to go in this one. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. It's through the ceiling. Needs to go there. Alright, let's go this way to there. Alright, so everybody's got what they need now, I think. I'm pretty sure. And it's a little convoluted, but again, I don't mind it as long as there's no clipping. This is a factory and we're making stuff, and so I don't really mind that it's showing the stuff being across the ceiling. I think we're gonna put the storage on the top here. Let's get rid of all this. Don't need it. This is gonna be our storage floor. So let's grab this 1 meter again. It's not tall enough. We might go up a little bit higher. I think that would be better. I'll finish running this floor and then I'll be back. Alright, so the next thing I gotta do is put in some electric. Alright, now for storage. So, these guys can directly come up. We don't have a logistics floor exactly, but let's put in some storage. So again, I want to have quite a bit of storage. I want to be able to put things out to wherever I want to. I want them pointed in this direction here. So let's line up a few of these. Actually, what I might do is do the opposites like I do, so I can bring them in and out of each other to fill up. Alright, so that should be radio controls. And then I'll do supercomputers over here. So we'll do 4 there. Alright, so let's see what we're going to do. We're going to drop. We're not going to drop anything. We're going to bring this guy. And he'll go into there. And then he'll go there. We could bring him into this first set. And then we'll bring him into that first set. And that will wrap around that way. And that will wrap around that way. Alright, so let's get our second set of radio controls. These guys are going to be rerouted over here because it's going to be in the same setup, same lineup. So we'll just turn that slightly that way. And that one, whoa, I'm lost electricity for a second. Will be there. And then we'll run this one. Oh, I think we'll do it on this side. Let's line it up with this. So if you're here, let's line you up with this one. Drop you down to there. You're not against that wall. Why? That should have been there. That's pretty good. And then let's do this one. Perfect. This one is off just a slight bit, as you can see, but it's fine. I don't mind it. It's fine. Do I want to bring it over? I kind of do. It's kind of bothering me just a little bit. Let's see. Let's line you up Well, I want to line it up with this guy too, so let's line it up here. So let's take away that belt a second. I want it to be lined up with that one, but I also want it to be lined up here. I'm going to press H. That looks right. Or does it? Yeah, it looks right. Okay, let's try that. That's better. Alright, so it's coming in there. And then going around to that one. And coming around to that one. Alright, so we're definitely going to have a lot more of the radio controls in storage than we are supercomputers. We could make more supercomputers in storage. That would be alright as well. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. Let's grab a lift. I think what we're going to do is let's come in from the center of this one. And it's not going to be pushing in from the top. It's going to go out. Let's see. Can we make it up here? No. We want to get all the way up to here. So let's drop this down. So we're going to need some floor lifts. This comes to... Let's just do that and put a floor lift in. Now we could take this, come back up to the top, grab that, not from the top, I want it from the bottom here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, we'll do the same thing on the other side. It's not going to be perfect because I do have them going in and out on the different areas here. What we could do is change these two around. And what I'll do is I'll have the output going that way, the input going this way. So they'll be even. I'm gonna need a floor hole. Let's see, right here. That's the fake one. There we go. And then we'll have one. Should be there. I'm thinking it should be there. We're gonna need another fake floor hole there, but that's fine. Alright, let's drop this in. Ooh, it's off by a little bit. A little tiny bit. So it wasn't there. It had to be here. Gosh, it won't let me grab the floor hole. Well, fine. That's annoying. Alright, let's put that. Let's do this one. Alright, so I'm going to clean this up, put some floor holes in. Kind of finish off the building with some windows and some lighting. And I'll be back. Alright, so I finished up our radio control and supercomputers. And now I'm just going to start setting up for turbo motors right next door. So we don't have all the components we need for the, whatchamacallits, oh my god, the turbo motors. We need cooling systems. And Advanced Aluminum, we got a lot of things we're going to be working on. We're going to do cooling systems, heating systems, and diffused modular frames. So that's going to be in the next episode, but I did want to set up for our turbo motors. I did notice we're only making about 8 motors, and I want each of these to take 8 motors, which will make us 2 turbo motors per minute. So yeah, we're gonna need 16. So I went over to there, our iron factory, and we had a lot of rods and screws, and that's why I like to keep these things on hand. So we had plenty of rods, plenty of screws. So I made another line for rotors. And I also did that with the modular frames. I needed way more modular frames for the heavy modular frames. And so I just stole from what I had and made extra. I will show you that. Actually, let's go take a look at that now, because that might be something that you need to do in your own factory. So let's go over there. Alright, so up in here you can see I made some extra modular frames. We needed them for the heavy modular frames. It really wasn't a huge deal that I told you earlier, because we're not using heavy modular frames. They're literally just storing. So I did take some, let me show you, the rods and screws, And let me show you down here. This is where we're making the extra motors. And down here, in this area down here, this is all the screws we had. So I'm putting them out from storage. As you can see, they're not even moving, most of them. These are clearing, but we still have plenty on the line here. I did upgrade these to 5s. Okay, good. So these are all 5s coming out. And I have rotors and I have rods coming in from down there and over here because we had plenty of them stocked up. And it does look a little convoluted, but you know, if you know your factory and you go through it, you could figure it out quite easily how to get them routed. And that's exactly what I did. I think that's something that I will put in what I've learned making the second best start, is that when you have these 480s and you're routing lots of different, you know what, I'll save it for what I've learned. Let's get back to making our, alright, let's get back to making, let's go back to setting up, alright, let's go back over to set up our turbo factory. Even though, again, we're not going to have it up and running until we get cooling systems. But we could at least set it up. And I'm going to run out of power. Alright, so everything we need as far as radio controls is being made, motors are being made, rubber are being made, and cooling systems are not being made. But I did run in the rubber. We have the radio controls being made here. They have storage up in here. So we'll be able to pull from this. And we have the motors coming in over here, and we're going to route them all down into this section here and drop them in, split them, and maybe I'll do it on this side. We have more room on this side, I would say. Yeah, we probably do. So we'll probably drop them down on this side and then connect everything up that we can. So I'll be back. Alright, so I got the motors coming out. I have the radio controls. I have the rubber. And the only thing we're going to need is cooling systems later on. So we do have to make sure that we leave enough room for that. I guess we'll put a floor hole. I guess it makes sense on this side. So maybe I'll drop in the motors here. So let's take that back a little bit. Alright, so let's put in a lift here. And we'll grab this lift. Yeah, I think we'll use this one. And this one. Alright, so let's grab this one first. Bring it down. Nice and smooth. Bring that into there. Bring this one down. Oh, so nice and smooth. So I think we should have put the cooling systems here. Okay. Because that is going to be probably towards, well, the inside, because I like to keep it neat and clean. So we're just going to bring this one there. Did I line that up okay? Yep. Alright, so the rubber will come in this one. And the radio controls this one. And the cooling system's there, because that would be ran that way. So that makes sense. So now we got to drop these down into here and split them. So let's see, I think the first one, why don't we do this? We can come off to this side. Let's just grab a splitter, say, here. And then we'll grab this into there. This into there. So now that would be good lined up for this one. So that would be our cooling systems, and we don't have them, which, yeah, of course. But you know what? We're going to run that anyway, so we know where that line will be. So we're going to bring that right down to there. And that will be cooling systems. Next, let's bring this one. We'll bring this up. That's going to be a little tight to there, but it's all right. We'll do that. Do the next one that way. And let's see, we could put a splitter on there. I guess that would be all right. And I think I'm going to keep this lined up as close as possible to this one. Does not like that. There we go. Alright, so that's our motors. That's our cooling systems. Next, we have to drop in our rubber and our radio controls. Let's see how we want to do this one. I think we could turn one of these in, and I think it might clip a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It's not terrible. Oh yeah, it is terrible. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, no, that's terrible. We're not doing that. Alright, let's back this up. I don't want to clip them like that. That would be crazy. Alright, I'm making this more complicated than maybe what it has to be. Because I could always drop these down too. And use this as a floor, which might be helpful. So if we want to do that, let's do this. Let's grab these, put one right underneath them, like that. We'll grab these, drop them into here. Then we'll grab some floor holes. One got a little closer. And then we're going to take this guy off. Grab that floor hole again. Now we could drop down into here. Alright, so the first one, we're going to make it really simple. And we'll do the outside ones. We'll do that. And then we'll come around into there. The next one, we're going to 1, 2, 3. Let's just go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll grab that splitter there. And we'll take you. Ooh, you don't quite reach. That could be a problem. What we might have to do here, let's see. Let's grab a floor here. E. I think we'll have to do a 2. And then a 1. And then take that way. And that way. Now, let's see. Actually, we might need another one. Now that I look at it. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, let's grab the belt. And where is this lined up to? Right on the edge there. I don't care if it sags down a little bit. It's fine. Alright, let's get rid of these. I really don't like that. Okay. I'm going to take this back a little bit. That I don't like. I'm wondering if I should take it from the bottom here to there. And let's make this a 2. And then maybe a 1. Let's see what it will look like if I put it to here. It goes up too high here, so we're going to have to take away that. And let's go back in. That is perfect. If I bring that now that way, it will fit. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, so sometimes there's ways to work around how you want your height, and that's how I would do it. If it doesn't quite fit the way I want it to. That's fine. Alright, I think we'll put like a false floor in here. I think we can do that. Although we might hit this guy. Let's see. Let's zoop. I could probably come up one more. So the top of that building. Let's go here. Down by 2. And we can definitely do something like this. As a logistics floor. Alright, we forgot to take that out. Yeah, that works. Alright, so everything is hooked up now. I am going to hook this up to power. Just because I want to make sure everything's coming in properly. Alright, so because I I see this wire. I know it's connected to something. I can go into power and I can go here and just grab that wire and connect it right there. And I'll hook it right up. And then I can take that and press 2, run it up to the next guy here. And the next. Oh, we should put it here. Hold on. Did I not grab it? There. Alright. Then to the next. Actually, no, we're going to leave it right there. And then we could take this out. Alright, let's grab that connection. Alright, so these should be powered on, but they can't do anything until they get the cooling system. So, we're all ready to go with these. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this building. And we'll wrap it up there. Alright, so I'll be back. Alright, so turbo motors hooked up and ready to go once cooling systems are on. And radio control and supercomputers are being made. So we are definitely using those radio controls to put up for the turbo motors, but we can't make the turbo motors until we get cooling systems. So yeah. So anyway, these are set up, ready to go, and just waiting. So that is getting closer to the end. Wow, we're getting super close to the end, and I can't get out of my own building. I'm stuck. Yeah. I have to slide through. There we go. So anyway, that's going to conclude today's episode. We got quite a bit done. And next episode, cooling systems, heating systems, and fused modular frames. That's going to take up this side. I do have the nitrogen gas being run in, as well as water. So I'm going to run all that stuff and get us ready for that for the next episode. And again, if you like my content and you want to see more, like, subscribe, comment, share. I do have memberships, 99 cents, $2.99, and with the $2.99 you'll get a shout out after every episode. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.